Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for June 20th to the end of June, and we're just going to cover this time period. We have a lot going on. I already did a deep love read for singles, partnered, and those of you in separation. That's a separate video, so check that out. So I'm not going to go as deeply into love. I'm going to keep the messages a bit more general. I will work in the astrology for this time period, and there's a lot of it as we progress through the reading. But for now, let's just get right into it. So we do have the sun entering Cancer for you guys on the 20th into the 21st. And at the same time, a few days later, we have the full moon happening in Capricorn. So this is happening on your third and your ninth house axis, right? The sun is entering Cancer in your third house of communication. And I kind of like this because wherever the sun is, there's focus. And Mercury is coming out of retrograde on the 29th. So even though it's still going to be sort of at the end there, it's not going to be totally out of retrograde until that shadow period. Shadow period won't be totally done until July 7th. You're going to start to feel a lightening up. So you're going to feel a lightening up in your area of communication. Now, that full moon is going to be happening in your ninth house of belief system. But what is the third and ninth house axis? It's communication, it's negotiations, it has to do with it's the higher courts. It has to do with your personal philosophy, your moral code. It has to do with traveling. It has to do with foreign land, foreign cultures. It also has to do, third house is more of your neighborhood, your siblings, your extended family, whereas that ninth house has to do with travel. So you're going to be, there's a lot of communication between your third and your ninth house going on this particular week, especially with that full moon energy in there, in Capricorn, in that ninth house. So something's been building up inside of you, having to do with your belief system, having to do with some sort of something that you're negotiating, right? Anything having to do with this ninth house. And now is the time when the energy fairly demands that you let it out over the next 2 weeks beyond this energy, right? The 2 weeks beyond this, the 24th. And you're going to discover what this actually means for you. But this full moon is going to be illuminating a conflict that you're likely going to feel between your roots and your direction. So the roots of your belief system, the roots of some sort of negotiation, and where you see it going. And these feelings and these revelations are going to be emotional ones, right? Because it's got to do with the full moon. And there's a sense of almost like emotions going to be bursting forth into your consciousness. Here is a really good way of looking at it. So it's time to express yourself, let things out of your system. You want to exercise some care though while doing so, just knowing that whatever's coming out of you in this energy is raw, is unrefined, and not particularly rational as of yet. And just because it has to do with your belief system and it has to do with, it is that communication axis. Yeah, so just, maybe try to, take a couple of deep breaths before getting something out into the open, right, for you to express. So let's see what we have as far as the oracles, general messages going on here, and yeah. We're going to pull a Celtic cross spread after this, but this is just basically kind of like a little laying of the land. So we have the moon, we have the fifth house, and we have Aries. Okay. So the moon has to do with your emotions. It's fourth house. It's the house of the hidden, right? Well, not the hidden. It's really things in the past. 12th house is more the house of the hidden. But the emotions are things that are underneath the surface that you're not really fully sharing with anybody yet. Right? It also has to do with that fourth house, the rule of the fourth house of home. In the fifth house, we have the idea of children, creativity, falling in love, love affairs, romance, entrepreneurial efforts, what you want to do because you want to do it. And then we have Aries, which is about a fresh path, a new perspective. It's about, remember, Aries is the emperor. It's about taking ownership and leadership within your life. Nice energy here. So let's see what we have as far as the cards go. So we have reflect on your truth being clarified by the justice energy. Wow. I mean, I like this, right? The justice energy is a Libra energy. This has to do with the lower courts. We have like a lower court, higher court energy. So very, very relevant for those of you who are in a space of negotiating any sort of lawsuit, having to do with an insurance situation, having to do with anything having to do with the courts. Let's just kind of leave it at that, right? And we do have that Mercury coming out of retrograde in your second house of things that matter to you, having to do with money. So if things have been feeling very stuck regarding any sort of negotiations as well. Now, at the same time, we have Saturn forming the sextile to Chiron, and this is happening between your 10th house of career, public reputation, your standing in the world, and Chiron's in your 12th house, right? 12th house is your subconscious. So there could be something going on here. This is very positive, guys, by the way. I mean, the Saturn with the sextile to Chiron is super positive. It happened first in February, and the final one's going to be in November, but it's going to help to soften the rough edges of that Saturn-Uranus square that I've been talking about. And it's a time for feeling very competent, effective, and secure. So I like this for you because you're going to be feeling healing. You're going to feel more confident in your internal world, and you're going to be able to exercise that out, having to do with something regarding career, something regarding the status of your marriage, something like that, and with no drama, which is really good, right? It's just this is like an energy where there's not going to be a whole boatload of drama, which I really actually like a lot. So again, this reflect on your truth and reflect on what it is that you want, need, and desire in a situation. What do you really want? If this has to do with relationship, this is about the truth coming out and you recognizing what's fair, what's not fair, making sure that your emotional needs are being met. If this has to do with a career or money situation, you might feel or experience some sort of challenging situation that feels like a test, but this energy means that things are going to go well and in your favor. And right, any kind of negotiation, any interview situation, anything like that, anything where there needs to be a meeting of the minds is going to go well and in your favor. And I really feel that this on the 24th, this Saturn forming the sextile to Chiron is actually going to be very helpful for you. I feel like that. Now, even though you might not feel like you have all of the answers right now, just know that that's because Neptune and Jupiter are both going to be retrograde in your 11th house of goals and gains. So what does this mean? If you're going to feel like, for now, you're not having the best luck, you're going to feel like, oh, things aren't going in my direction, I'm really not sure if this is the right thing, I don't know. Just know, though, any area that you feel, because the 11th house has to do with your general goals and gains and where it is that you're going in your life. So this could have to do with relationship, have to do with a family situation, having to do with friendships, anything, business, anything like that. If you're feeling this being held back, it's on purpose to protect you, because especially when we have a retrograde with Pisces energy, nonetheless Jupiter, because Jupiter is about, come on, let's go expand, but it's slowing down in this energy of Pisces. So it's slowing down to say, hey, you know what? Let's pull it back a little bit, because if we keep pushing it forward, you might end up having to martyr yourself for this situation. You might end up becoming victimized because of this situation. So we're going to slow it down and pull it back to help protect you, because something needs to be regenerated, and we can't have regeneration without something ending the way that it was. So something's going to be identified as not being fair up to this point, as not ultimately serving you, so that you can move forward in a better way moving forward. You understand? Because clarifying this regeneration is trine. Trine is a beautiful energy, and it's all about flow. It's about harmonizing. It's about energizing, right? And it's about supporting. So you're very supported right now in some sort of regeneration of something. So it's kind of like the lights come on, the truth comes out, who's, not showing up in a fair way, and all of that's going to be looked at. Now we have express your joy, that's being clarified by the Nine of Swords. And this is about anxiety and overwhelm and worry and not responding well to the stress of a situation, because your way out of something may not be very clear. So you're like, okay, so you express your joy and this is what you get in return. Well, the thing is, there's stuff coming up that you really need to look at. And when we get message in the bottle, right, the message is from underneath in your emotions, right? The bottle has a telephone, which indicates messages coming up from your emotions, and the stalk that's pulling it up indicates new life, right? So there's some sort of new cycle that you have to push forth. So it's almost like you're in the situation where You recognize that what you're in doesn't feel right. It's not working. There's a lack of fairness. There's a lack of truth in it. You feel like your needs are not being met, and you feel pushed to express your joy, but it doesn't mean that, boom, you're going to be happy. It's actually the change is going to incite some anxiety and some stress, but it's something that's very, very necessary. And then we have you. We have Taurus. So obviously Taurus is that you guys are the landlord of the second house of things that you value, right? You being very earthy, very practical, very productive. This focusing on fertility as well. And what I mean, but it's not only necessarily getting pregnant, because not all Tauruses are in that stage of life, but the growth of something. You want to be more than you are right now. And this is something that you feel very strongly, but because you have these retrogrades in your 11th house of goals, you kind of feel like there's this foggy cloak hanging over where it is that you really actually want to go and need to go right now. Even though we have Mercury coming out of retrograde in your house, in that second house. So you're going to be able to articulate where it is that you want to go, but you may not be completely clear initially on where it is you want to go. And as I said that, I just looked down and I noticed this, become a clear channel. And what does this mean? This means to release blocks. So what's clarifying becoming a clear channel is the Chariot in the reverse. So Chariot in reverse can be a little bit of a challenging energy here, because this does indicate arrogance. This indicates some sort of self-indulgence. This can manifest as either you or somebody in your life spiraling out of control, going off the right path, where there's some sort of exercise in selfishness or egotism can be indicated here. So a change in focus is needed, and you want to be careful of that. So a change of focus is actually going to create that clear channel. Okay, and then we have poise. I don't read these in reverse. So then we have poise. So you're just very ready to take on some sort of challenge. You're very ready to take on some sort of challenge that you're going to be dealing with right now. Because this is tension that's necessary, right? This is some stalling that's necessary. There's some sort of pressure. There's some sort of frustration that's completely necessary for you to... It's like your energy is saying, come on, Taurus, you really have to look at this right now. It's going to go in your favor. You have to understand that. Again, I want to reiterate, to have two powerful energies retrograde in your 11th house of goals, gains, friends, where you're going in your life, what you get from your entrepreneurial efforts, this is all 11th house. And there's going to be a slowing down of these energies so that you can look at things in a different way, in a more clear way. And things are going to definitely become more clear, particularly as we get into July. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but July into August, things are just going to start lightening up. But I mean, what I like about this is whatever shift is going to be going on, it's going to definitely be bringing you into a better place. And the truth of the matter is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like you know exactly what it is. Whether it's needing to shift, make a shift in that relationship, that business situation, that career opportunity, whatever it is, that family situation, there's got to be some sort of shift. Taurus. Yeah. All right, so let's pull a Celtic cross spread, see what's going on. Get a little more information. What do we want to use? We'll use these. We'll use these for you guys. Okay. This is the Light Seers Tarot. The Emperor, yeah. All right, we got that Aries dice. That's the Emperor. Judgment. King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, seems to line up very perfectly with the astrology, I'll tell you that. We have coming into this energy, we have the Ten of Cups, nice energy, right? It's about focusing on family, contentment, benefits of security, recognizing that. Really great time for family, partnership. Whatever you've been working on, really trying to pull together the best you can. Whether it has to do with business, some sort of family situation, even if it's just communication. Within your life, right? Just because this Mercury retrograde has been a little wonky, or having to do with something within your romantic sector. So you kind of that being your focus situation right now. We have the Emperor energy, and you very much saying like, I know exactly where I want to go. I feel confident. I feel good. I have everything in my mind's eye, right? But it's being challenged by you intuitively knowing something's got to be pulled back. This has to do with your emotions, right? The High Priestess is a moon energy. It has to do with things that you're intuiting and things that you're feeling, emotions that you're feeling inside that you're not really sharing with anybody. So there's something that's sort of hidden here that you're not sharing that's, I'm not going to say that it's blocking you, but it's something that you can't ignore about you being able to move forward on your path. Now we have the Judgment energy here. Now if this has to do with a relationship, this is about assessing whatever situation has gone on in the past, letting go of the past, making a decision about the past. Also, some of you may be literally experiencing a spiritual awakening right now in a particular area of your life. But again, keeping with the relationship, there might need to be, for some of you, either a reconciliation with somebody within a relationship or a reconciling of things within yourself regarding a relationship. And again, if you guys are in that space of having the potential, if you're going to know if that resonates with you, you getting back with somebody, you have to figure out if it's the right thing for you. Just because the energy indicates it doesn't mean that you have to go and take part in it, right? It's kind of like, and I like to say this is a really good, it's a good simile. It's like the weather, right? I mean, these energies are like a weather report, right? So if I tell you it's raining outside, I'm not telling you have to go out in the rain. I'm letting you know it's raining outside. So you have to figure out how you want to handle it. But there is going to be this assessment of the past, and only you're going to know what you need to do about it. Now, for some of you, if this has to do with career or money, this is acknowledgement for your success coming in, and finances getting better. So it's like work that you've done in the past, right? Because Judgment's a Pluto energy, so it's about digging up the past. So it's this recognition of something in the past, looking at it. And for those of you having to do with some sort of career or money situation, there is success coming in, sort of circling back around, right? Finally, like much deserved. Some of you might be making a decision about a property. Maybe finding yourself drawn to an old property or a place that holds really, really happy memories for you as well. Depending on what your situation is. Remember, these are general messages. You want to check your sun, rising, moon, and Venus, right, to get the most complete messages for you. Now, we have as the foundation the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So this does indicate some sort of family issues. For some of you, this could be issues with your home, like a foreclosure kind of situation, or just money situation having to do with the home. It could have to do with some sort of, again, family conflict. For others of you, this could just be feeling kind of like very lonely in something right now. Just very alone. Dealing with things in your life and just feeling rather alone, having to do with whatever situation you're resonating with this. And we have the Ten of Swords as you right now. Yeah, so it does seem to me that there's recognition of the ending of something, right? The Ten of Swords it's an ending, a finality in the release of something where there was a history here. And what's been going on has been very stressful. But it's the end of it. It's the end of it. Even if it's painful, at least it's done. Right? It's the end of something. So now you're going to be able to transform into a healthier energy with fresh eyes, a new mindset, right? Just in a better way moving forward, even though you feel at an emotional stalemate right now. You want to protect yourself. You want to. You have to make a decision about some sort of situation that's going on here. If it has to do with relationship, career, whatever it is. It's kind of like the recognition that something's over, but now it's kind of like the follow-up. It's like, all right, cool, now what? Like, now what do I do? Exactly. And just not being too sure about that. We have the Eight of Cups in your challenge. So you might be having a hard time pulling away from something. You might recognize that something doesn't feel right, where you need to move on, but you might be having a hard time pulling yourself away from something, even though you're fully learning from the situation. This is fully learning from the past, right? But there's some sort of challenge there. Some of you may be feeling very challenged and blocked by the idea that maybe somebody that you deeply care about, that you live with, left, and you really want them to come back, and that's kind of like your challenge. It's sort of putting cement shoes on you and your ability to feel like you can comfortably progress forward. Now we have the Empress energy is the near future. She's the mother of the tarot. This is straight up Venus. So if this has to do with anything in a relationship, first of all, if you're single, this can indicate a great time to begin a relationship. If you're in a relationship, this is a great time for growth and harmony, and literally could be pregnancy, buying a home, getting married, starting a business, anything that you and your partner might want to take on together. If this has to do with career or money, this is you being very, very like a smarty pants when it comes to managing your projects, right? Really good, kind of like intuitive energy when it comes to handling things at work. So I like this, a very secure energy with money coming in. I like this. And some of you might be in the space of just thinking about growing a business, or maybe even doing some work on your home, renovating or extending your home, or maybe even moving to a larger home, right? Because she's the Empress, about growth through Venusian energy. She might be looking at, growing into like a bigger home. And then we have the Six of Cups energy. So the Six of Cups, for those of you who are in a relationship, if things have been really challenging, things being remedied in this energy, it's a very harmonious energy. Those of you who are in separation, this is a very nostalgic sort of reconciling with the past kind of thing, reconnection. Some of you might even just be reconnecting with old friends. If this has to do with a business opportunity or something having to do with an idea, regarding anything having to do with money or opportunity, you might be returning to something that you did at one time, or returning to something that either that you did at one time or that you were thinking about doing at one time, right? It's kind of like this hearkening back to the past, but it's a nice energy. It really is. So let's see what other stuff we can get going on here, so we can get some clarity about what you might be feeling. Okay. So we have the Tower in reverse. So the Tower in reverse, you might find yourself in this space of taking responsibility, even if you're blameless for something. Now, this can also indicate you may be holding on to something, a career, a project, a relationship, something that's not strong enough to stand the test of time. And if you're clinging to the past, if you feel like you are, to protect yourself from reality, this energy can actually materialize those fears. So it's kind of recognizing that something is inevitable, so don't feel responsible for it. It's not all you. And that may not help you as you work through something, but this is also kind of like a close call. Good thing like that didn't go any further, sort of thing. All right, but it does, on the heels of that, we have clarifying that we have a beautiful new beginning, because Ace of Wands is auspicious for all areas of life. New beginnings, any sort of new enterprise, new projects, conception of ideas, as well as growth, family, virility, right? New chapter of passion, creativity, motivation. So whatever you were holding on to, it's so easy for me to say, but it needs to be let go of, however you're able to do that, so that you don't block this new thing that wants to come in. And I like that we got the Virgo, and we got the Hermit, which is Virgo. I like that we got the Hermit clarifying the Ace of Wands. You know why? Because this is you saying, all right, you know what? I'm recognizing now, if I keep doing what I did, I'm going to keep getting what I got. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? I mean, if this has to do with money, this is a success and a position through which you can make more money. And you're getting a lot of deserved acknowledgement. But it's because you're strategizing, you're recognizing what didn't work before, and you're going to be doing things differently with a little bit of a different strategy. So I do like that, it's the problem-solving energy, kind of, you know what I mean? So stepping back and analyzing what's not working. You might find that it's time to try a different approach having to do with that situation. And this could even have to do with relationships, right? If your Ace of Wands is a new relationship energy too, a very passionate energy, but it's you recognizing things that you've gone through in the past and not repeating those mistakes so that you don't end up in that same pattern. And I feel like you can be very open about it. This is a nice energy. mutually supportive, very beautiful. Listen, if you guys are single, you're meeting somebody new. Very nice. This is a positive proposal. If things have been really challenging in your relationship, things getting better. If things have been a little trippy at work or having to do with some sort of negotiation, you guys having a very good, mutually supportive conversation and it going well. You might have to quell somebody's ego so that their ears can open up. Okay, that might be a thing. There might be some tension in the situation due to ego, but it can easily be resolved through empathy, and balance can be had. So I like this, especially if you feel like things have been tested, things going better for you. Now we have as a two final energy, the Queen of Swords is being clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords is all about the truth, being motivated to find out the truth and the psychological motivation of the people or person that you're dealing with right now. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is about increasing prosperity. This is a really good energy for financial growth and good investments. So any business venture, investing in any kind of property, any sort of dealing with a partner, increase in money, increase in connection coming in. You might have to work a little harder than you're used to or you have been in order for things to be stable and secure, but I feel like that is okay. That will be okay for you. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you for now. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.